Fun. In the top left part of the map, we have our blue Terran player. It is Zrqkyvx, also known as Zerk or Zrq.
In the southwest spawn position. There's our green Zerk player. It's Ottr.
So I just realized how long it's been since I've actually looked at the normal replay interface.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
I feel like there's stuff everywhere and next to no information. It's strange.
things everywhere. And dude, I have to say, those strong colored, bright green neon overlords look awesome.
Yes, they do. This is one of those things that I really like about them having put that into the extension mod. Just basically forces those colors. In fact, I think they might have done it over the entire game. It's what I have been told. You now have blue and red storm, for example, in ladder.
Very good. That's
I have not messed with the intensity slider, so I don't know what it looks like if you turn it all the way up.
Zrq bartering for the pizza here with the victory.
So I think this is actually a fairly effective tactic on his part. I mean, he knows that Ottr has apparently issues with thinking about food while playing. So simply start talking about food in the pregame banter. And you may secure yourself victory. No, I don't. I hope I don't. I hope that's not really the case. But
If it ever arrives.
instead, he may have just inspired bitterness on the part of Ottr. The pizza is not actually there yet, and therefore may in fact just make her angry. So maybe this one backfires. I don't know.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Remains to be seen.
Okay.
So what do we got here? What do you think? Got a hatch.
Hatch pool, fast command center. Like these are very economic oriented openings. We're going to be sitting here for a little while longer while we wait for things to ramp up a bit. And the thing is, this makes a ton of sense on this particular map. Nimbus, random spawns. You do not really know where your opponent is, so going for cheesier plays, they're a little less successful on this map than they would be on others as a result. So it makes sense that if either of them do have plans to do that anywhere in this series, this would probably not be the map for that. But at the same time, not seeing anybody do anything particularly greedy. I think we saw them grab some military resources before going into the first base. So because you gotta be careful, because sometimes people just do crazy things.
Do crazy things. Crazy people.
Crazy things. Crazy stuff. They proxy barracks in the middle of the map or something. They gotta get that spawning pool first. Just gotta be wary of that.
Right. We got a queen, a couple overlords, barracks at the front, nothing too exciting. Another command center coming out of Zrq. It looks like he's pushing for an early economic lead, third base.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do not be too fooled, guys. Those of you who are thinking like bronze players that expand, what? Like, these two don't play ladder much. They are easily silver.
Easily, yes.
Easily. They are both way better than typical bronze players. So that is, of course, when they're on form. I mean, everybody has their bad days, and who knows what they play like after taking a little break. So this, if that is the case. In any case, it looks like, the thing is, I've always noticed that Zrq has a tendency to be just extremely consistent. He's getting his production down, going up into the third command center, getting his add-ons, getting SCVs, kind of just nailing all the fundamentals of what he's got to do. Ottr's doing similarly, actually, grabbing speed, has both her gases, getting workers. Nobody's actually building up maybe a little bit too much in the way of minerals, but that could easily get spent very quickly here.
Yep, content to reactor submarines. Good staple, basic. Dropping his factory almost complete.
And yeah, it looks like he's just going for bio play as always. Scouting Overlord going to wander in, see the number of barracks, kind of should be able to conclude from that Zrq is in fact playing the way he always does. His Overlord will give its life for that information. but there's no supply block in sight for that. So, Ottr keeping things well. Not even sure what the word is, really. Just kind of keeping the basics down. And we have a Baneling Nest coming out.
And since Zrqkyvx is going bio, this Baneling should be very effective. I don't see Combat Shield on the way, but I do see Stim.
So yeah, what do you think of this particular matchup when it comes up in pro games?
ZVT? It's always fun to see the pro player go bio versus the Zerg, because you have to control your Marines, kind of like Zerglings, because there are so many of them on the map at one time, and I don't know, I just like seeing the sort of dance they do, the medevacs and things like that, often on creep. A little bit of an engagement.
Oh, we got Lings surrounding the Marines out in the middle of the map here. They're almost got a complete surround on that.
It's not done.
Backed away a little bit. The thing is, this is really, really, really bad for ZRQ. Just trading all of his Marines away like that for those Zerglings. It's not the end of the world, but a little bit better kiting there. He can take much better fights than that. Of course, that kind of puts any attempts to grab this third base kind of away right now. There isn't really a whole lot he can do from this position. And now we have the Banelings coming out. The scan goes out. He sees the Baneling Nest. He knows that this is a possibility. We're not seeing any attempt to check the front of the base, though, to see if the Banelings are coming up. How successful do you think this is going to be?
Very successful. 26 more Lings on the back of this. They're going to run up and join up with these Banelings. He's only got 2 Hellions at the front. A couple Marines behind the wall, but once these Banelings go off, it's going to be all hell at the front of the base.
And you can see, though, he's throwing up that extra barracks. He's getting ready for that. Here comes the attack. She really needs to be careful not to let these Banelings explode on the Hellions, though. Okay, they do go down. Lings coming up to the front. Banelings are going to blow up the wall. Relative ease. And here comes the attack. Nothing is really splitting. The Baneling finds its target, and it all dies. The bunker goes down. There's no repair. And there isn't really enough Marines, I think, to call this, like, the end of the game yet, but this is really, really, really bad for a turret.
Terran's in a little bit of a tight spot here. Ling's in his base. It's only a handful, so if he can hurry and get these Marines out of here with the reactor. Trying to get the wall up here. Lost that add-on big time. More Zerglings on the way.
Link's coming up here, and these could do a lot of work, but there's a single Widow Mine there, and if everything ends up clumped up in the same spot, well, we all know what can happen with a single Widow Mine.
Widow Mine's a good unit.
Third base is up. We have 9 more drones coming out for Ottr, as well as a bunch more Lings grabbing upgrades. So she's not neglecting the need to go up into the later stages of the game. She's not going totally all in from this. Ooh, that is a lot of dead Lings.
17 kills on that Widow Mine just from one shot.
Slowly building up resources, and more Lings join the fight. Gotta be careful. Doesn't want to get this group stuck out in the middle of nowhere. He can't pick up and just run back into his base, but
they're just kind of staring at each other for now. Calling it good.
Bizarrely enough, yeah, because of the medevac's overall vision, yeah, that army was actually outside of Otter's view, which is why we're seeing a slightly slow reaction here. Complete surround, though. Ooh, looks like there was a focus fire on a single Marine. As a result, the Lings sort of ran in circles around the group instead of actually just grabbing it and attacking it. Remember that with the Lings, you can really not augment the micro too much. You pretty much just A-click. You can move click blast and then A-click, but you don't want to ever focus fire.
Right, you gotta be careful with that, especially clicking in the center of an army. You get that little ring around the rosy thing going on. Ooh.
So we got a Spire coming up here. A lot of Lings dying in the middle of the map, though, which have been basically burning away a lot of Otter's larva resource. 12 more Overlords popping out. She's going to be able to grab quite a few Lings. Not quite a few Lings. Quite a few Mutilas, usually 13 to 14. As long as she can do that, I think, before the pressure starts. There's a little bit of a vulnerability right now. But because of how hard he was hit, it looks like ZRQ just wants to hang out at home. He doesn't want to move away.
Want to note, too, there are 2 Spires on the way. 2 of them. So are we looking at one greater Spire? Moving into Broodlords?
It's possible, though. This is also the formation used when you're going really heavy into mutas. It allows you to get both upgrades very quickly.
That's good too.
So, I mean, we'll have to wait and see what she's intending on that. Scan goes down, though, and he sees both of those, so it's pretty unfortunate, because if he takes this as an opportunity to attack, this is going to be a really, really bad time for that to happen. Spires up, and mutas?
Mutas? Mutas? Lots of
Maybe?
gas. Lots of gas.
It's got more than enough resources for him. I actually see like 20 of them at once here. Upgrades first, it looks like, and then hive. Is that a hive? Really? Interesting.
We do have an infestation pit down as well.
Here comes an attack, though. She needs those mutas. Okay, there they are. 18 mutas popping out. The thing is, she can't attack this army. It's too many Marines. Widowmine's in there as well. She needs something to actually be able to kind of draw some of the fire away from the Mutalisks, or even at this point, maybe just straight go for a base race. Because it's like, I do not know how she's going to hold this off.
Right. Not with just Mutalisks. You need something else on the ground here. Banelings would be perfect right now. We got a flock of mutas. Zrq standing ominously with his army on the creek. Gonna head for the third. The scan did find it.
You should get this base. It looks like Ottr's going to try and go in for an attack here. I'm not sure how successful this can be. She can maybe pick off.
Ooh.
Oh, Widowmine's going to take damage on the entire Mutaflock. All of them going to very, very low in health, and that's a huge loss for our Zerg player. I think there's pretty much nothing stopping Zrq at this point from just walking up and killing everything.
Right. All 18 Mutalisks done in a matter of seconds. 24 Lings on the way is sort of a futile reaction time here, but Zrq is pushing up to 4th base now.
This could work. I mean, if Zrq decides to just kind of hang back for a while, she can kind of rebuild. She has a decent bank of money right now.
You're right. Adrenal glands are on the way.
Calmly re-expanding. Yep. And the thing is, from Zrq's perspective, it is totally reasonable to just back off right now. He knows he's got a huge lead economically. He doesn't have to keep pressuring. He could, and he'd probably win the game if he did, though. But it's not necessarily an illegitimate decision to back off right now. Build up your resources even more, and then come back.
Ultras will be out soon. Can probably only afford 1 or 2 of them, but that could change everything as long as Zrq doesn't focus fire.
The thing is, by that time that comes out, as long as more gas is not spent on Banelings, you should be able to get about maybe 3, I'd say. And that actually will work quite well if you can get a nice Baneling hit off on the Marines. There isn't really good splitting. This army can evaporate in seconds.
Plenty of Banelings.
There are a decent number of Marauders in that force, though. So, depends on how well Zrq's kiting ends up being. And we've kind of already seen, though, so far, that it hasn't been the best element of this play.
Yep. 1 medevac boosting off here. Gonna go for a drop up at the natural.
Oh, got a little bit of kind of the one control group syndrome going on here. He's trying to split all his stuff apart. Kind of having a hard time doing that. There you go. And that's a big force of Lings and Banelings moving out into the middle of the map. No Baneling speed with this group. It's going to have a little bit of a hard time getting them to the Marines if they do start kiting. Drop is positioned off to the left, and there he goes. This is going to slow Ottr down a little bit. If she decides to bring her whole army back, she might just respond with the Lings that are already in the base. Interestingly, responding with the drones, which are ironically probably going to be in a better position for when this fight actually occurs. Oh, Ling's running off to the side, and now she's going to move forward, and this one Marine is probably very perplexed as to why he's still alive.
Why didn't they kill me?
He stared into the jaws of death and came out unharmed. There's a planetary fortress here and a really interesting supply depot wall. Baneling's going forward, going to do, unfortunately, mostly dying against the planetary fortress, which is actually giving the Lings opportunity to completely eat the space alive. So they are going to do that. There just isn't going to be much to back them up back home.
And that's GG.
Yep. Wasn't able to deal with the drop back home, so losing equal, if not more, than Zrq during that attack. So Zrq takes it.